Welcome to that 80s show, and Dori, today, oh man, what have I done? What have I done today? I lost track of how much coffee I drank.
Oh, that explains it. That explains why you're sitting there completely naked.
Man, I wish.
I didn't want to say anything, but that explains it.
Does explain it. Mm-hmm. Have you ever had those days where you just like, do you drink a lot of coffee?
I don't drink normal coffee at all. I only
don't.
drink decaf, and I probably drink 2 cups of coffee a week at most. I'm a bit of a tea drinker.
Yeah, good. I got to do something else. Like some days you just lose track of the coffee, and it's cool being hyper, like having that bounce. But like, I drank so much coffee, I've like damaged my internals.
Internal what?
I feel nauseous. I want to vom. I hope I make it through this episode.
Dude, this is not good. Not good. You're not as young as you used to be. None of us are.
I know. I've got a very big monitor in the studio, and I still need glasses to see it. Well, you know what? This is the show for people like you. We're not a show that's going to be talking about clout chasing or any cool young things. We're going to be talking about the 1980s, the decade that birthed me and raised Dori.
Right.
Like wolves.
Indeed.
Like wolves. This is That 80s Show. Remember, everything we talk about on today's show, you're going to find That 80s Show essay on Facebook. Dori, remember we used to do... Let me shut that music off. Went on longer than I expected. Let me finish this earlier. We used to do misheard lyrics on That 80s Show.
We did. You used to start the show with it.
We used to start it.
I kind of miss that.
Well, it has to be retired. It can never come back.
Because you can find all the lyrics everywhere you look.
No, because Rick Astley mastered it.
Oh.
If the game of misheard lyrics, and what we do if you didn't listen before, we just like read out misheard lyrics from 80 songs. Very hilarious. Lols. But if that game was an 80s video game, what Rick Astley has done is the end level boss.
Okay.
Yeah, he has done it so phenomenally well. He, like all of us who've worked in radio, and like you talk about the age thing, add like 20 odd years of wearing headphones, your hearing just starts going, right?
Yeah.
All right?
You still have really good hearing compared to me.
Yeah. Because headphones.
But I used to go to lots of heavy metal gigs and sit right by the speaker.
That's the thing. That'll do it for you. That's mystery solved.
Yes. No, there's no mystery about it.
So that's what happens. I mean, I know some radio people, and we didn't always have the best like headphone technique because you're not now. Listen, if you're listening to this on headphones, you know now Apple does it for you. It says, "Oh, your level's too high." You can't just go blasting headphones in. You got to start on low volume and go up.
Yeah.
Right? So if you listen on headphones, I hope you're doing that from now on, or you're going to be deaf. And we can't have you deaf. We need listeners.
Yes.
Right?
Literally.
So don't go deaf. Like, don't lose your hearing.
Yeah. This show will not be available in Braille.
No. Wow.
Can see you thinking.
How do you braille Dora Domdus? If you haven't listened yet, you got to go find in your feed our fantastic interview with Dr. Phil Jaffe from Body Beat. Body Beat, the brains behind the Lycra.
You know. Remember, I've mentioned before on the show one of my favorite Facebook pages. Thanks, that's my band name now. I want to go and put Dora Domdus, but you've got to give it context.
Yeah, no, you don't.
And these are mostly Americans. I don't know if they won't get it.
They'll translate it and they'll be like Dora Dumbox. Which I suppose works. It does work. It's just not the same.
We need a South African version of Thanks, That's My Band Name now. And then people will appreciate it.
Okay, we'll do that, right. So Rick Astley ends it. He goes, he was suffering, like he was going, I'm losing my hearing. My hearing's suffering. And he goes, of course, it's natural. I'm a man in my 60s. I've been involved in the music industry.
He's in his 60s. Sorry, I just need to...
Yeah, keep having that moment, right?
Yeah, because he does not look it.
No, not at all. His ears, though, his ears let him down.
Did he go to too many heavy metal gigs?
Probably, because there was that story that Ozzy Osbourne wanted to make a band with him in the 80s.
And there is that performance that he did with the Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters.
So actually...
Headlined Glastonbury.
Actually, while he was putting out pure pop with Stock Aitken Waterman at home. It was all Judas Priest all the way.
You know, we know this. Huh? We know this about Rick Astley. And even before that, he was like, from 8 years old, I was playing the drums.
Oh, of course.
And drums aren't soft. I don't know if you noticed.
No, they're not.
No. So he's like kind of like, look, my hearing's going. I've got to go do a test. And he, in doing this, he gets fascinated by what they tell him. To say that, no, you know, you obviously you need to wear a hearing aid. Rick Astley has to wear a hearing aid now, right?
Yeah, okay.
So he goes, okay, I want to find out more about this. And they say, you know, one of the things that happens when you start losing your hearing is not that you don't hear song lyrics or words, you mishear them.
Oh.
So but you mishear them. And I'm not an expert. I'm just reading from the article here.
Okay, I thought you lose certain frequencies.
That happens.
Right.
That happens.
Yes.
Some people lose low, high. Men lose certain frequencies versus women losing certain frequencies, right?
Yes.
Like I can't hear my wife talking to me anymore, you know? So that's just...
She doesn't talk to you anymore.
No, just points at the door. So he's like going, you know what, I've got to wear a hearing aid, but I want to do something about it. I've got to turn something, because he's like, I learned something, and I want to now teach other people. This is, you know, let's do something about it. So in collaboration with Specsavers, who actually also do hearing aids, Specsavers, they do hearing aids as well.
Weird.
Yeah, okay, diversify. And in collaboration with them, he does a charity single, and he re-records Never Gonna Give You Up, but with misheard lyrics.
Oh, no way.
Okay. Now, I've been debating all day if I take this chance because, you know, if you put music in a podcast, we could be into trouble. We could get into trouble.
But it's not the original song.
It's not the original. Oh, I don't know what should I do, Dori? Should I? Okay, what I'm going to do, that 80 Show SA Facebook page, you can go see the video. We all know Never Gonna Give You Up by now.
Yes.
Like everyone knows it.
Yeah, so just tell me the misheard lyrics.
Yeah. If you listen to this, if you've come across the show, you obviously like 80s. If you have the internet, you've been rickrolled. We all know Never Gonna Give You Up what it sounds like. Okay, so I'm going to give you some of the lyrics. So it plays as Never Gonna Give You Up. Starts with we're no strangers to we're no strangers to lunch.
Okay.
You know the rules and so do I. You need the music. A broken mitten's what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
You wouldn't get knits from any other guy. I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. This part kind of goes okay until he hits the bridge.
Yes.
Of where, you know, I'm never going to give you up. Misheard. Then I'm going to let you down. Then I'm going to run around with dessert spoons.
Okay.
I'm going to make you cry. I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to tell a lie and hurt you. So the complete opposite.
Oh, it's an opposite song.
Except with dessert spoons.
Yes. It's a desserty opposite song.
And you'll never get
it's got food in it. That's the second food reference.
We've known each other for so long. Your aunts be naked.
What?
But you're too shy to sing. Inside, we both know what's been going on. We know the game and we're going to play it. He doesn't do the whole song.
Do you think he got a somewhat deaf person, played the original and said, write down what you hear?
No. He explains how he did it.
That's too random.
They explain how they did it. There's a whole making of it. He speaks to people from Specsavers and from the societies. And so good. Yeah. And it's just another example of Rick Astley just being lovely. Why is he always lovely? You know, so like we can't play the misheard lyrics game because that's the best.
That is the best.
No.
I think we can at some point bring it back with other stuff that's not Rick Astley.
But like just acknowledge
he is the winner.
He's the winner.
Yes.
He sang The Winner Takes It All during lockdown. Remember that?
Yes.
He did ABBA, The Winner Takes It All. Never going to turn around or run around with dessert spoons. I mean, I should prefer that. I got to be honest.
I can't wait to listen to it.
Rick Astley, he is the best man in the world. Look at him smiling there, Dori. Look at him. So lovely.
Doesn't look 60.
No, he doesn't look 60, but his ears. It's all in the ears.
Ah.
All in the ears. His ears have let him down. Oh, we love him. We also love Who's the Boss. And last week, past few weeks, been fascinated with the story of John Stamos catching what he thought was his girlfriend. Very awkward situation, Terry Copley.
A shenanigan, a misunderstanding shenanigan. So popular in all the 80s sitcoms.
Yeah, so it was
moves into real life.
It was a perfect 80s sitcom plot.
Literally.
So John Stamos dating Terry Copley, beautiful girl. He thought this was the one. She had broken up with him.
Yeah.
That's like, who's telling the truth? We said John Stamos believed the beautiful person. And he walks in on Tony Danza and the girlfriend together. Like, he doesn't like this. So somehow we started talking about Who's the Boss. And then another cross-section of Matthew Perry comes in.
Yes.
Looking at the shows he was in. And in particular, he was in an episode of Who's the Boss.
Yes.
Latest. And we're like, we don't remember almost a whole season of Who's the Boss, you and I.
Yes. But that might just be our old brains. Or is it?
We wondered if the SAUK just like kicked it out. We don't know what happened. Okay. So Tony Danza and you remember of Who's the Boss, Alyssa Milano. So we went down the rabbit hole. I went down the rabbit hole, certainly, to go, what happened? Did we just collectively forget it? Did we ever see it? Because I got to tell you, when I tell you what happened in the final episode, we remember.
The final episode that we saw.
Well, the final episode that we must have seen.
Okay, of the final of the whole show.
The final. Okay. It started getting weird.
Oh my God, wait. Him and Angela get married or something, right?
This is the thing, Dori. This is the thing.
Is that it?
It gets weird, right?
Okay.
So, now obviously the whole thing about Who's the Boss, will she, won't she, will they, won't they, it was a whole thing. It went on, Who's the Boss ran 8 seasons. This went on for pretty much the whole time. They would date, they'd go on dates, shenanigans, they never quite get together. Then we pick up in season 7. I'm going to go halfway through season 7 because you need the context.
Is that the final season?
Season 8's the final.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay.
Samantha goes to college.
Okay. We didn't remember that. We remembered her in high school.
Don't remember her going to college.
And we didn't remember her going to college. But it's possible she did. I mean, she did. We just don't remember.
And there's a whole bunch of episodes about shenanigans at the dorm. Tony wants her out the dorm. She moves into a house. This is where Matthew Perry comes in. There were a lot of college-based episodes.
Okay.
I don't remember that.
No.
I remember Fresh Prince college-based episodes.
Yeah.
I don't remember Who's the Boss college-based episodes. So there's a whole bunch of, again, shenanigans, Who's the Boss type stuff. But then there was, they adopted somebody. Tony was a guardian to somebody called Billy.
Huh?
Yeah, he gets some character called Billy comes in. And then Tony takes part in a sports commentating competition, which now gets him kind of rediscovered. Because remember, he was a minor league baseball player.
Yes.
Never quite had the career. That's what, converts him to being a manny. Mm-hmm. But here's where it gets really weird. So through some of the shenanigans, Tony comes across some of his old baseball guys. Tony agrees, indignant about old baseball veteran Chappie's financial predicament, to campaign on behalf of the Silver Society for funding of medical care for senior citizens. So he meets an old baseball colleague.
Right.
Coach. And this guy's down on his luck. And Tony's like, but why? No, because there's no pension for us, and Tony's like, I'm going to take this on.
It got political?
To the point that Tony goes and addresses the U.S. Senate.
I really don't remember that.
Right? Tony Danza goes to Washington with the whole Who's the Boss clan.
Okay.
Okay, to now lobby for the rights of senior citizens. This is what happens in Who's the Boss.
Okay.
He completely bombs out, panics, makes a fool of himself. He's like, oh no, I'm an idiot. I didn't help my friend. People are going to think I'm an idiot, I'm a moron. Of course, he gets assigned what is described here, a foxy assistant to help him in this whole process. Angela gets jealous. So that's end of season 7. It ends on 2 parts of The Road to Washington, part 1 and 2.
Yo, okay.
I don't remember any of this.
Maybe they just stopped it before that last episode.
Then it comes to season 8.
Right.
Because I'm like on season 7. I don't know what's going on. Recapping who's the boss here. So then Angela has a whole lot of problems, because she had an advertising agency.
Yes.
There's a downturn. She loses business. Her ad agency's in trouble. And at this stage, Tony is told in episode 1 of season 8, I should have told you that, he goes to a psychic who says to him the plot of it. He has until midnight to confess his love to a special lady or risk losing her forever. So he's like, okay, special lady's Angela, I got to tell her.
Yeah.
So they start dating now properly.
I actually remember that.
Right? They do start properly dating. But now Angela's fancy. Tony gets a job as a sports coach at a high school.
Okay.
Right? And then from there gets promoted to a teacher. Right?
Okay.
It becomes very successful and very popular. All leading to the 2-part series finale. Right?
Yeah.
A 3-parter, actually, Dori. A 3-parter.
Okay. And we had to wait a week in between each one.
I mean, that's called stretching it out.
Yeah.
It's called padding. If you're not sure what padding is, just go back 6 or 7 minutes of the show. Called padding. So, Tony now, sports coach, they want him to be a teacher, but he needs to graduate to become a teacher. He does this. Okay. He graduates. So the 3 final episodes were called Savor the Veal.
Part 1, Part 2, Part 3?
Exactly. Why? Because Tony graduates with a teaching degree. But it may be goodbye, Mr. Michelli, when he gets an out-of-state job offer.
Okay.
Because they live in Connecticut. Connecticut is, what's New York? New York's
Where
the state.
was Samantha at college?
She was in NYU.
Okay.
Right? So they're never going to send her away.
Yeah.
So listen, Milano. You need to listen, Milano. Mm-hmm. Okay? So he goes, okay, listen, Angela, we've just started dating. Because this is sitcom shenanigans.
Yes.
They just start dating. Things seem fine. They have a few hiccups. They're happy. No, now he gets a job offer. I can't turn this down. I've gone from a manny to teacher. I've been nominated for this. He goes off to takes this other job offer, and he gets nominated and wins Teacher of the Year.
Wow. He's so lucky.
All these things are happening. Guess what?
What?
The long distance relationship's not working.
Oh.
No, they're like, she's jealous. He like, what? It's just not working. After 8 seasons, they're finally together, and now they're not together. Savor the Veal Part 3 final of Who's the Boss. He wins the award. He wins Teacher of the Year. And they recreate the opening scene of Who's the Boss as the final scene of Who's the Boss. I loved when they did that in sitcoms.
Yeah.
You may not remember it, but of course, Angela, Tony gets at the door, knocks on the door. Angela can't find it. She comes down, just been out the shower.
Yes.
Towel around her head, and opens the door and says, I believe you're looking for an Annie. Right? So this is how this final scene plays out.
Yes.
So she says, what happened? He's in a tuxedo. He's suited and booted. Was at a gala event, eating veal, I assume. And she says, why here? What are you doing here? He says, so I do all the stuff. I win the award. I go back to my apartment, and I realize I got no one to show my award to. So he said, to hell with everything. I'm moving back here. Season end. Series done.
Oh, so they don't get married?
He proposed to her in this season.
Yes, he did.
He did.
Right.
He proposed to her. She turned him down. He proposed twice.
Okay.
But you don't see them getting married.
So, a couple of questions. It's the 80s. Why did she not just move to be with him as the man of the relationship?
This was 1991. Yeah.
Feminism.
Yeah.
Feminism ruined the show.
See what I'm saying? If it had happened in the 80s, they would have wrapped it all
Like
in
it
a bow.
wouldn't have even been a thing. She wouldn't have even been a working woman.
No, not even. It's the 90s. Melrose Place is what we're watching now. So now,
Okay.
that was a very boring segment.
I don't remember any of that.
Are you surprised? So boring.
I don't remember it.
So boring.
Somehow in my mind, I remembered that they got together in the end.
But they
I mean,
were
they
together.
did. They did get
they
together,
got
but
married.
like there wasn't like a soap opera style wedding.
Yeah.
So
With the
did we
demon.
watch this season or not, Paulo? Like getting back to the crux of the matter, we still don't know.
The final scene I've seen, there were little bits where I have seen Tony Danza in a tuxedo, but then of course he does lounge. He's a lounge singer now. So it could be that.
There's only one scene that I remember quite clearly from the whole show, and that's when he walks into into the bathroom and she's naked.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that? It was quite early on, I think. Like, it's very awkward. He walks into the bathroom,
Yeah.
she's just getting out the shower. And I remember how they did it, where they
Okay.
showed her shocked face and then like her belly button
Uh,
and her legs. They like did like a, jump cut thing.
80s.
Yeah. That's all
And,
I remember from the show. Pretty much that.
I'm so disappointed I know this. We just had to find out. We just had to
Yeah.
find out.
Would it still be entertaining to watch today? Like the whole show, I mean, not
So,
just the finals.
I was watching little bits. Yeah, it draws you in. Yeah. If there was...
Because of Mona. She was the highlight.
Did you like her?
She was so funny.
I loved Tony Danza. I thought he was the best.
Yeah, but Mona was funny.
But so that's Who's the Boss, and there's a reason we don't remember it.
Well, that subject is closed now for the show.
Closed
We will never
now.
discuss it again.
And
We might discuss Tony Danza and Alyssa Milano again, but we're not going to discuss the show.
Danny Pinturo, no. We'll not
Shame.
discuss him.
The person who really went nowhere.
No. Did he just pass away? Have I killed him?
You might have killed him.
We're on IMDb.
He might have.
Let's check that out.
I don't think he did. I think he had a drug issue.
He had
I'm thinking he had a drug problem.
1992. Oh, no. That's when he was Danny Pinturo. That's when he was on Who's the Boss. You'll be glad to know that he is not dead.
You killed him, but he's back.
He's back now. Movie recommendations, Dori. What do you have for us this week?
I have a tenuous link this week, but still worth discussing. Easy to watch because it's on Netflix.
Okay.
Getting a lot of attention because it's new on Netflix. Have you, Paulo, yet watched The Killer?
Everyone is talking about that. There's even an action
Yes.
figure of it.
Right.
Yeah. So I've seen it. I know nothing about it. Nothing.
I'm not going to give you any spoilers whatsoever, except for the fact that I started watching this movie because A, Michael Fassbender, amazing. B, directed by David Fincher, amazing.
All right.
And I like things about assassins.
All right.
And it's an assassin story. And I was so filled with joy when we're watching and all of a sudden I hear a Smith song. And I'm like, ooh, Smith song. Then the movie goes on a little bit more. Another Smith song.
Is it a movie or series?
It's a movie.
Right.
It's a movie, so it's one off.
Oh, I can do that.
You can do it. You could do it this weekend.
Yeah.
Not a series. A few minutes later, another Smith song. And I'm like, Not to be a spoiler, the main character really likes the Smiths.
Like American Psycho, main character really likes Elton John.
Right, but in American
Not Elton John, Phil Collins. That's what I'm talking about.
Huey Lewis in the news. Huey Lewis in the news and Phil Collins. But yeah,
If he liked Elton John, it'd be a very different movie.
but the difference is in American Psycho, he liked various things.
Yeah, he did.
In this movie, it is
Just likes the Smiths.
literally only the Smiths. It's all, he's got his little earphones in and that's all he's listening to.
Is it set modern day times?
It is very modern day
Okay.
movie, which is also like, Because we're watching and my husband goes, is this movie set in the 80s? Why is he only listening to the Smiths?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, because remember we saw the cell phone. Like at first you're not sure when it's set, but then there's a cell phone, there's a smartwatch. It's like, oh no, this is definitely modern day.
Yes.
But he only listens to the Smiths. I will give you the list of Smith songs in this movie because as a soundtrack goes, you're not going to get much better than this if you're a Smiths fan.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
You have to be a Smiths fan. Well, I Wonder, I Know It's Over, How Soon Is Now, Hand in Glove, Glory Box by Portishead. That's not by the Smiths, but it's also in the movie, 90s song. Big Mouth Strikes Again, Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now, Girlfriend in a Coma, Shoplifters of the World Unite, Unhappy Birthday, This Charming Man. That's them. No, There Is a Light That Never Goes Out. One more.
That's pretty much all their big hits.
And
their
some of their
unknown
not
hits.
so big
They're not
hits.
so big hits.
Look, my favorite Smith song is not in the movie, but it wouldn't be because it's a very happy song.
Because it would be. Also, like, no one has heard it except Robert Smith.
It's Ask. It was a moderate hit.
Morrissey.
Robert Smith. Now you know you're getting old. You're confusing your emo 80s frontman.
Am I getting old or am I just suffering from hearing loss, Dori?
Perhaps. Anyway, that aside, so that's one element, that there's a lot of Smiths in this movie, which is great. It's a cool movie. It's a bit slow-paced, but it works to be slow-paced. I highly recommend it. One of the other things, nice little 80s nod, as an assassin, he of course has multiple fake identities.
Sure.
Multiple.
Yes.
You keep seeing the names of his fake identities in various ways throughout the movie. And at some point, he's Sam Malone.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh my God. Then I Google the other names. All from TV shows.
Really?
All characters from TV shows. Sam Malone is the only one that is specifically 80s.
Now, Sam Malone is Ted Danson's character in Cheers.
From Cheers, exactly.
There's that meme been going around.
Yes.
Where it's got Madonna from Like a Prayer.
Yes.
Next to Mr. T.
Yes.
And it goes, life is a Mr. T. Everyone should Sam Malone. Right. Twice in a week, Sam Malone. When last do you think of it?
Exactly. Synchronicity. Yeah. So the other characters, his other, what's the word? What?
Aliases. Alii?
His alii.
Is it alii?
I don't know.
Yeah, English.
Are from shows more from like the 70s. There might have been another one from the 80s, but the one that stood out for me was Sam Malone, and that's when I went down that rabbit hole to look up the names.
So
and they were
he
all
wasn't
TV
at any
characters.
point called Balki Bartakamus.
That would have been very obvious, I think.
I think so.
Sam Malone is a relatively generic
Sam Malone
name.
is such a good one
Generic
because
name.
it's such an American-sounding name.
Exactly.
Like you could literally be Sam Malone.
So, and only people like us who love the 80s would have picked that little nod up.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's some good stuff. Great soundtrack.
Oh, great film, honestly.
Really?
Great film. Yes,
So not even
really enjoyed it.
an 80s link, but Dori's bringing you a fantastic film.
Yes.
Killer.
And easy to watch. It's on Netflix.
Killer?
The killer.
The killer. Because he's an assassin and then people try to assassinate him. That's the...
Well, if you want the basic story, yes. So he has a botched assassination and the people then go after him.
Yeah.
It's not a very original storyline, but it's very well done.
Yeah.
Very well done.
All right. It's making a buzz. It's making a buzz. So you will not be miserable now after watching that. No. And you will not be in a coma, nor will your girlfriend, because it'll be good.
Because it's the light that never goes out.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you for rescuing me because I was floundering. Absolutely floundering. So, I mean, as usually happens, Dori brings something fantastic to the table. I bring something nightmarish and shitty to the table.
Can't wait.
I'm going to praise it and then I'm going to play the trailer. Okay. So, nowadays, spoilt is very loose phrase for it. But wrestlers moving into movies, it's like quite a high point, as high as such a move can be. You got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, right? He is what he is, but superstar, box office. You then get John Cena, right? Not fantastic, but for what they are, it's great. They all wrestle a lot of fun.
He's easy on the eyes.
Easy on the eyes, and he makes a fool of himself. Like he's not. The Rock pretends he doesn't take himself seriously, but he's like very serious about not taking himself seriously.
Yeah, right. Did you recently see the survey of the world's sexiest bald men of 2023?
They weren't allowed using my photo. I said, please and I don't like the one they used, but so I boycotted the whole thing.
So they had to replace you at the top of the list.
Oh no.
The person they replaced you with is just horrific.
Who's that?
Okay, well, let me firstly say the reason I'm bringing this up is because Dwayne Johnson is on the list in the top 10. He's number 6 or something.
Do you think of him as a famous baldy?
No.
Right.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Some of the people on that list I don't think of as famous baldies.
Yeah.
Terry Crews was on the list. I suppose a famous baldy, but not the first one person that comes to mind.
I don't think of him as bald. I think of him as muscular.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Again,
I think of him as how he had the hair in Pulp Fiction.
And Kangol hats.
Yeah. So, and then there's the obvious ones who are on the list as well, like Vin Diesel.
Yeah, Vin Diesel's bald, yeah.
Yes. Now, he was the winner not last year. Yes, he was the winner last year.
Okay, I think of him as a bald guy.
Yes. There's also Jason Statham.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good
he's number 3.
Good bald.
So
good bald.
Vin Diesel's number 2. He was number 1 last year. Jason Statham, number 3. I don't know what he was last year.
Still bald.
You know who else is on it? The Amazon guy, what's his name? Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos is on the list.
New buff Bezos or skinny nerd Bezos?
Well, however he looks now. It's 2023.
Yeah, because that guy, like, as we know...
And as we know, the money is going to add some sexiness, right?
Well, yes, but he's leveled up, that guy.
No, he has.
Like, all those guys leveled up. Even Zuckerberg's doing kickboxing. It's all thing.
Yeah. So, I can't remember who else is on the list. But the travesty, the reason I bring this up, is who they put at number 1.
I wouldn't even dare get.
You will never
guess,
because it is such a shocking choice. Prince William.
But he's not even a bald. He's not even embracing it.
Like, he's balding.
He's balding.
And he is not sexy. No matter how much money or royalty he has, he is not a sexy person. Sorry.
A very reliable guy.
I mean, does that make you sexy?
Very reliable, but not sexy, no.
See what happened because you dropped out.
You see,
to replace you.
So the whole thing's just nonsense.
It is nonsense.
I'm going to start my own rebel list.
Okay.
Because I don't like that list.
No, it's terrible.
I don't like number 1.
It's terrible. And I mean, Dwayne Johnson being on it, it's like, no. Yeah. Nah.
He can't. He sullies a lot of what he's on. I think the joke's over. You can tell him.
Okay,
you can tell him. But I think the joke's over. Prince William, sexiest baldy.
Terrible.
I don't get it.
So, back to your movie, talking about wrestlers.
You're the friggin' king, or king in line, king to be. Get some plugs, man. Like, I don't advocate anyone getting plugs. You embrace your bald. He's a
or
king.
just shave it all off then.
He can't. He's royalty there.
No, he can't. He has to.
You can't have a shaved head king, prince. What is this? Madagascar? No slight to Madagascar. I would assume your prince is bald. Okay, so back to the point.
Yes.
Wrestlers in movies. Right. In the 80s, we had Andre the Giant.
Yes.
Was in Princess Bride.
Right. Which you'll never watch.
We'll never watch it. Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
Was constantly in everything, just being Hulk Hogan.
The man with the mustache.
Yeah. 50 Shades of Orange. And in 2 movies, he found a bit of a niche. Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Who?
Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Okay.
So Rowdy Roddy Piper was a wrestler in the 80s. He wrestled in a kilt.
Rowdy Roddy Piper was a wrestler. Say that 10 times
Rowdy
fast.
Roddy Piper was a wrestler. Hot Rod Rowdy Roddy Piper was a wrestler in a kilt.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Wrestled in Rome, Romania, and Russia.
Righteously.
Rowdy Roddy Piper was a wrestler in a kilt who wrestled in Rome, Romania, and Russia righteously. Thank you very much. Okay, so he was in a movie. Dori, did you recommend it? Or I recommended it?
Definitely not me.
No, I think you did.
Don't lie.
Rowdy Roddy Piper was in a movie called They Live. He was the main guy.
Yes. Oh my God.
He was what?
He was
kicking ass and chewing bubble gum. He's all out of chewing gum.
Oh my God, I didn't realize that's who he was. Okay.
That's who he was.
And he was a wrestler?
He was a wrestler.
I did not know
I loved him.
Didn't know that.
Everyone loved Hulk Hogan, Junkyard Dog. I loved Junkyard Dog. But Rowdy Roddy Piper was up there because he really wasn't killed. It was funny. It was a joke. It was a whole thing. It sit on people's heads.
Okay.
But he made a movie. Now, Dori, one thing I love, we spoke about Dwayne The Rock Johnson being very serious about not taking himself seriously. I love, much like this show, that a lot of it is bullshit, but you must know we know it's bullshit, we know it's nonsense, but my God, do we not put a lot of effort into it?
And do we not love it?
Do we not love it? I feel that this is his movie, right? And
Okay.
I'm just going to play the trailer.
Okay.
Reflect for a moment on the art of cinema. Think of a motion picture like The Last Emperor and the 9 Academy Awards it so richly deserved. Consider the profound emotional experience of a truly great film. Then forget it, sweetheart.
Yes, better blow it out your exhaust pipe, cinema lover, because here comes fun with hair on it.
Oh, that's disgusting.
You're gonna see the biggest piece of shattering entertainment that ever molested your sensibilities.
That sounds great.
Want a plot? Here it is. It's the end of the 20th century, and mankind has blown its wad. The fate of humanity rests in the groin of one man.
Their leader, Commander Toady, has kidnapped some pilgrims who wandered into their territory. We're gonna get him out, and then you're gonna get him pregnant.
Yes, if you want a brilliant film, you can go right to
We're going to Frog Town.
Hell Comes to Frog Town. Starring wrestling superstar Rowdy Roddy Piper. Move over, Mr. Mel Gibson and Mr. Robert De Niro. Here comes acting talent and sensitivity like you've never seen.
You are one weird dude.
And speaking of talent, turn green, Ms. Meryl Streep. Here's Sandal Bergman, the exquisite star of Red Sonja and Conan the Barbarian. Hell Comes to Frog Town, a story of mutant sex and people like you and me. It's hot, it's wet,
And it's bad.
it's Hell Comes to Frog Town.
You will never choose a better movie than this. This is it. The show has to end. This is the last episode
No, because
because there's a sequel.
exactly. I mean, you should have seen. It was such a. So Dori and I are in studio together today. It's such a,
Which is rare.
such a treat.
Reflect.
Oh, it's just become sentient and just keeps playing itself. I looked so many times to go, that's not the original trailer. That's now been remade because it's a cult classic or something.
I've never heard of it. Ever.
Fantastic. That is a fantastic movie. So, in a moment, I want to be called, I promise you this is not the plot line of a porno. This is the plot line
There
of
was
this
a lot
movie.
of liquid being spat and shot on that trailer.
I mean, that 80 Show essay Facebook page, you're going to find it there.
Yo.
So what happens, we're in a apocalyptic future, okay? And men are dead. Or most of the men. Most of the men have been
Okay.
wiped out.
Except for Roddy.
Now, the thing about Rowdy Roddy Piper is the men that are left are sterile. He's not. So now he's a hot commodity.
That explains that one scene where she says you're going to impregnate them, because that was a bit weird.
Right.
I was like, I don't know what's going on here.
So she's the leader of the secret government organization made mostly up of women and all up of women. And they're the best women, the smartest, the most beautiful, the brightest. And they've been selected to be impregnated to carry on the world.
The human race.
The human race.
As opposed to the frogs.
The frogs, right? Oh,
They are literal frogs.
So literal frogs. So
Frog people.
I'll get to that, right?
Okay.
So because humans have not evolved and are no longer a threat to them, frogs have now evolved into humanoids. Okay?
Okay. Were men killing the frogs? Was this a thing?
Well, obviously there must be like a climate change or a hole in the ozone layer. It was the 80s
Yeah.
thing there. You know, we're bad. So because we just...
Because there are still women.
There are still
The
women.
women don't kill the frogs.
Men kill frogs.
Men kill
you know,
frogs. This is what
notorious.
we've learned.
Notorious. We kick them, we stomp on them. So now they find Roddy Piper, who is a bit of a miscreant on the outskirts of society. They find out he's the one that can now impregnate these perfect women and restart the human race. Now, fundamentally, don't think too much about it. This is not the movie to think about it. I never liked that story because effectively all their offspring are related.
Yep.
And it's just like we don't. And now you might go, well, aren't we all? Say, well, okay, whatever you believe in, it's very problematic. This movie is not the one to challenge it.
No.
Go watch Kiss of a Spider Woman or something like that. Okay, this is not the movie to now be talking about evolution.
Yes.
This is not one of those. So he now gets captured by this government organization and says, you're going to impregnate the woman. So he's like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to do that. That's not what I'm about. They put a electric cod piece on him around his gentleman area, which is very counterproductive. So basically, if he gets too far away from the two women that you saw in the trailer or the two women you would have heard in the trailer,
Yes.
he gets administered with an electric shock If he tries to take it off, it explodes.
Oh,
Which,
well, I mean, that is very counterproductive.
Right?
Literally
counter-reproductive.
counter-reproductive.
Right? So it's like, okay, but again, not the movie to worry about such things. There is a man with a metal underpants shocking his balls. It's funny, right? Okay. You can't understand how many times his balls get shocked. So he does try to run away, gets his balls shocked. And then they go on a road trip. Then it becomes a bit of a road trip movie to Frogtown.
Yes.
Roddy Piper, you would have heard, the movie's name is Hell Comes to Frogtown. His name's Sam Hell.
Oh,
He's Hell.
okay.
He's Hell Comes to
Hell
Frogtown.
comes to Frogtown.
So now to infiltrate the frogs. Now these are human frogs.
These
So
are real frog people.
they're real frog people. And now, listen, we're not talking world-class CGI here. I don't know if you could hear
No,
that. It's not a
looked
high
a bit
budget.
Muppetish.
I mean, Muppets, the shit they threw away. Because when they bought to Jim Henson, they go, look, here's the frog. That's not a frog. Get that out of here. They went, whoa, hold on. Bring that back. So it's just basically people in like normal suits with like a frog
masks
mask.
like you would have bought at Cardi's in the 80s.
Yeah, exactly. Like Cardi's.
Cardi's frog mask.
Right? So that's what you are buying. And these are the frog people. So now to infiltrate, the
Yes.
frog people want women.
Right.
Okay? Because it's a commodity. So they're trading women for weapons, whatever. And now Roddy Piper goes, okay, well, we're going to put Sonia, I can't remember, she was Red Sonia.
Yes.
Right?
The blonde girl.
Now
Don't
listen,
remember her name.
she's now supposed to be a scientist, but at every point, I got to tell you about one scene.
Okay.
I got to tell you about one scene. So they camp out in the desert, right? So they have to prove that he can get aroused because he just doesn't seem interested.
Right. They're like, oh, what if this
Again.
is all for nothing?
This is not a porno movie.
Right.
It had a 15 age restriction. Not a boob. There's not a boob in this movie.
There was one scene with a woman wearing very thin dresses.
You do not see a boob in this movie.
Okay, I thought that there would be boobs underneath the very lacy dresses. No?
We saw boobs in Muppets Go to New York.
Right.
Miss Piggy's.
Okay.
I'll never get over it. There was no boob in this movie, right?
Okay.
So they think, no, because he's not being aroused by us, because what man wouldn't want? We're beautiful, we're smart. There's something wrong with him. So we got to try to keep him in a constant state of arousal.
Right.
These are the two women that go with him.
Right.
To not constantly arouse him. So that's why you see the scientist woman always in lingerie, always in her underwear.
Yes. Doing
You saw that, right?
bending over in
in the trailer.
very skimpy outfit.
Prove that he can be aroused. So while they're in the desert,
Hang on, is he still wearing the metal thing?
he's got the metal cod
Can
piece.
he be aroused with the metal thing?
He can be, just as long as he doesn't go get aroused over there because he's going to get shot. Okay, he's going to be aroused in their vicinity. So while they're in the desert, a woman escapes from the frogs and they find her in the desert.
Okay.
And they're like, well, you're up, soldier. You got to impregnate her before you got to. You can't waste this opportunity.
Right.
Not a porno. Once again, not a porno. She's like, okay, well, this is my mission. I'm supposed to be impregnated by you.
Yeah.
Now they go into the tent. Now he can't get aroused by this woman. He's got no connection to her. But he does have a crush on the scientist, the Red
Okay.
Sonja lady.
Okay.
So you would have seen in the trailer when she's wearing her white underwear. Mm-hmm. She's trying to arouse him so he can impregnate the runaway.
It's very Handmaid's Tale.
Okay? Even more so, he's watching her while he's doing the thing. Again, not a porno.
Yeah.
You don't see anything happening, you know they don't.
Yeah.
So anyway, she goes off. They just let her go back into the desert.
How did we know she was even ovulating that night? Sorry, I'm a stickler for detail.
This is what I'm saying. Not the movie for that. This is not the time we uncover this.
You sound like my husband because I always do this and he goes, oh, he like rolls his eyes and he's like, just watch the movie.
No, you must know. But you must think of this. But at
Yeah.
the end, there is a frog man. And frog.
Okay.
Okay. So now they go, okay, we're going to infiltrate. And guess what? Scientist, genius woman, high up in this new government, we're putting you in a leather slave outfit.
Of course.
You got a hot body.
Yeah.
You got to take you off there. So they take into Frogtown
Right.
to now trade her off with the big bad boss.
Did the frogs name their own town? Because it seems like a little bit rude to be called Frogtown.
Yeah, I do feel that, but I also feel that like
This isn't that movie.
that movie. I would imagine there's not that many frogs. Or are there so many frogs, couldn't it be called town? If frogs are now the dominant. I don't know.
You can't walk because there's frogs everywhere.
Not that movie.
Right.
So they get her in and they take her now to the big frog boss, the big guy. You would have seen in the trailer her lying on it's kind of like a sacrifice table and having flags waved over her. Oh, the whole reason they're trying to get into this frog town, by the way, is that the best and most fertile women have been kidnapped by the frogs.
Right.
That's the whole movie. That's what's happening.
Okay.
Yes, they got to go rescue them.
You did say that earlier. You did say that. You said
that.
the frogs wanted them to like trade and
yes.
stuff.
So
right.
they took
They
the
weren't going to
best
impregnate
ones.
them.
No, they took the
We're going to
best
have
ones.
frog mutant people.
Oh, the frogs, they mutated themselves. There's no crossover frogs.
Right.
So they now get in, and those women were preparing her for the dance of the three snakes.
Not a porno.
Not a porno. Okay? Now, the dance of the three snakes. Dori, she now gets taken into the room, presented to Big Bad Frog Boss, the main guy.
Got it.
And she must now do a sexy dance for him.
Okay. Why?
To arouse his three snakes.
Okay.
Now, I didn't pay that much attention in biology class. We cut the frog open. It was a whole thing. I did not notice that a frog has three. Right? 3 padders, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. I didn't do biology, so I'm very lost.
I don't think a frog had 3.
No, it's not likely.
No.
Isn't this something we would know?
You would know. People talk more about it.
Yeah.
They say happy as a dog with 2 dicks. We've heard that. No one says
Happy as a frog with 3 snakes.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not a thing.
Yeah.
Again, not this movie. And she now starts arousing the 3 snakes. But at this point, Roddy Piper comes in. Things happen. They escape.
Right.
And then it just turns into like a lot of explosions, very cheaply done. There's a double cross somewhere along the line. Somebody from the beginning of the movie has been double crossed and playing both sides the whole time. You go, oh, it's him. And after they defeat all the enemies, the frogs attack Roddy Piper. He chops his arms off and he falls off the cliff. Frogs are gone. Double agents are gone. Coming to a happy ending. And evidently a very happy ending because they go, well, it's a 2-day drive back and you got some work to do.
Oh.
Cut to all the women, fade to black, not a porno.
So what's part 2 about?
No, there is no part 2. I only teased about that. Hal comes to Frogtown.
Wow.
That is...
You've really outdone yourself.
I mean, that
like,
is...
seriously.
How
did you find it?
I don't know, Dori.
No, you got to know.
It's on YouTube, the entire movie.
I imagine it is.
The entire movie is on YouTube.
I am curious enough to skim through it.
Yeah, it is so shit. It is like a level of bad movie.
That's so bad it's good.
You end up loving it. You go, fuck this.
Well, I love the way they like don't even hide that it's bad. They say it in the trailer that it's bad.
This is a movie. And I love movies like that. Embrace what you are. Because you wonder if that's how they went into it, or after they shot it, they went like, yeah, we got it.
This didn't turn out like we expected.
Got a corkscrew. It is fantastic. Fantastic. Dori brings you The Killer.
Such different movies.
There
are no frogs in my movie.
No frogs at all.
No.
No frogs at all, no.
There's not even any sex in my movie.
Not in this movie either.
Yeah.
Lots of suggestion.
No snakes in my movie.
Constant suggestion. But anyway, that is Hal Comes to Frogtown.
Wow.
The Killer, that is
what
the
a
movie.
ride.
What a ride. What a ride. The movie recommendations on that 80 show this week. Dori.
Yes.
A quick Google alert. George Michael, or Les.
Always.
It's regular. The life and music of George Michael, the stage show.
I mean, we probably should have seen it coming, right?
The life and music of George Michael is a brand new concert-style show that chronicles the amazing journey George Michael had with music and his fans. The show captures the performance and sound of George Michael with staging and lighting while telling his story through early music hits from Wham and his illustrious solo career. So this is now currently only on tour in North America. I have reached out to the promoters
Okay.
and say, hey,
Yeah.
top African podcast.
Who's playing George Michael?
There are 2 people playing George Michael. Wham George Michael and
Yes. Solo George Michael.
Faith George
Yes,
Michael, and then
'cause-
older George Michael.
Right.
Like literally
Oh,
older,
got
right?
it.
So I want to quickly show you, that is the, showing Dori here, these photos go, that 80 show, say, that is the young George Michael. I can't find any photos of him Wham George Michael.
Okay.
So he's got
That's
the
like Faith George
outfit.
Michael. Yeah, that's Faith.
Doesn't look like George Michael.
I mean, it's hard to tell from that picture.
No, I'll find another one for you. He does not look like George Michael. No,
He's doing the pose.
doing the pose. He's got like the the shortish beard.
Does he sing or do they
They
mime?
sing. No, they sing.
Oh.
They sing.
So does he sound like George Michael?
Don't know. We're gonna find. I cannot. There are no
'Cause
videos yet.
Imagine how many Michael Jackson, Elvis impersonators there are in the world. How is there not a George Michael impersonator?
This is true. This
You
is
know
very
what I'm
true.
saying?
This is very true.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to show you the guy who plays older George Michael. So I don't see George Michael.
No.
So listen, are you going? What are you casting for? It's a stage show. Are we casting for the guy who can sing?
Because let's hear them.
If they do take a turn, yeah, I'll go watch
Oh, yeah.
a night
For sure.
of course. And hey, listen, we all definitely want to talk to you guys on that 80 show. We want to find out.
Are there any clips online?
Can't find anything. There is an
Not
Instagram.
like a trailer or anything?
No. But if we do find one, it goes that 80 Show essay on Facebook page. Of course, we have got to a very awkward part of the year for most people, in that it is definitely time for Last Christmas.
Yeah, so funny. People only ever talk about Mariah Carey. For me, it's like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Mm.
I mean, we with this show, we used to play music in the show. We stopped doing that because we want to talk more, honestly. And you got Spotify, and but by now we'd be playing Last Christmas by Wham every episode. Record-breaking time, Dori.
Yes.
This is the earliest ever that Last Christmas and that other song have entered the UK top 40.
This year?
Is the earliest.
Okay.
So every year, it's the two
Yeah.
of them compete for number 1.
Right.
Every year, that other song and Last Christmas.
Yes.
And they never leave the charts. Last Christmas is always in the in the charts.
Right.
But this is the earliest it reached the top 40. So Last Christmas in at 37.
Okay.
And the other one in at 40. So just making it, just sympathy.
Yeah.
I feel. And earlier, the earliest it ever reached it is that normally it hits it the last week in November. Second week in November, it's already in. So if you're not a fan of Last Christmas,
You're going to have a very bad season.
have a very bad season. I can't wait. The first time, I'm just waiting for the first time I hear it in the stores.
Oh, it's going to be Clicks. Remember last year I kept hearing it every time I went into Clicks,
Clicks, you say.
Yeah.
Clicks.
giving them a shout.
Like, we can play that song anytime.
No,
but you
and
love
you do.
in the wild,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
It's like going to the zoo and seeing a lion, going to the Kruger and seeing George Michael, like, you know?
Surreal.
It would be. So,
I will let you know the first time I hear it. I
Yeah.
don't listen to radio, so that's not going to happen.
no, but like no radio station here is going to play it. They're too cool.
No, there will be that one. You know, the one that plays oldies once in a while?
Do you think they'll play it?
Yeah, they'll play
I think
it.
even them, they think they're too cool.
No,
for it.
they'll play it. I've heard it there.
If you think you're too
But
cool
I'll
for
let you
Last
know
Christmas,
when I'm in the shop. Because everyone always talks about hearing Boney M in the shops. I hardly ever hear Boney M, but I hear Last Christmas a lot when I'm
Yeah.
in the shops.
I hope they don't do the Whamageddon thing.
That's too bad.
You know, the Whamageddon game. See
Yeah.
how long into December you can go without hearing Last Christmas.
Well,
Stupid.
we are automatically disqualified because we listen to it all year round.
Exactly. So I come across a headline I really don't like. 80 show the 80 show that failed. that just hurts. It's like, oh God,
Then you realize it's not about us.
it's like a bad dream. You're like, oh, God,
Remember,
thank
we're
God.
award winning. We haven't failed.
Award-winning and award-nominated.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Best Online Radio Show nominee, SA Radio Awards. It's coming up. So I found this article on movieweb.com about 11 very strange 80s shows that didn't last very long. They're catfishing me because in the top of the article, there's a young Courtney Cox.
Wow.
Of course, I'm intrigued. That's when she was in the tampon ad. Right about
Yeah.
the same
Well,
year.
I mean, yeah.
So the first TV show they talk about is Automan.
Didn't you do that in one of your movie recommendations sometime?
I did.
I feel like you did.
I did. It's he's a computer-generated superhero that fought crime with his human creator, Walter. Walter works as a computer programmer for the city's police department, but he really wanted to be a street cop. His superiors didn't think he was well suited for the job, which led him to create a hologram that could leave the computer screen and named him Otto J. Man, but gave him the nickname Automan.
It's RoboCop before its time.
It's RoboCop meets
Kinda.
Tron meets Knight Rider.
Lawnmower Man.
Lawnmower Man, good shout.
Yeah.
And so Automan we know about. Here's another one called Bad Cats, B-A-D Cats. Was a crime drama that followed a team of cops who investigated car thieves. Automan? No. Okay.
Okay.
So it followed Nick Donovan and O.C. James as former race car drivers who were hired by the LAPD to investigate auto thieves because of their superior driving skills.
I mean, it probably sounded good on paper.
It actually did. It was kind of Starsky and Hutch in cars.
People liked fast driving scenes.
There was a LAPD officer played by Michelle Pfeiffer.
Huh.
Yeah, very young Michelle Pfeiffer. Take a look at her over there in a little denim jumpsuit.
Wow.
Yeah, very young Michelle Pfeiffer. 6 episodes, got cancelled.
Yeah, probably wasn't great.
Black's Magic from 1986. Crime drama revolved around a retired magician who joined his conman father to solve mysteries using a combination of tricks and con games. Perfect. Okay.
Black's Magic.
Black's Magic.
Never heard of it.
You're a magician, my dad's a con man, we'll solve crimes. Hey?
I mean, it sounds so cool.
I mean, the premise of Miami Vice. How ridiculous must that have sounded?
I don't think so.
You know, 2 guys solve crimes in espadrilles. No, we don't. Come on. What are we talking about? Another from 1981, Breaking Away. 4 friends who made their living as working class cutters in a college town, but primarily focused on Dave and his La Strada bicycle. The show is based on a 1979 movie, and
what's a cutter?
I don't know. I think that was the
Am I
problem.
supposed to know what this is?
They're wearing T-shirts that says cutters, and they got helmets. So I assume could be a sport.
Huh.
But I think that's the problem. Don't base a show on something no one knows about.
No one knows.
Ooh, I like this one. Gung Ho was a comedy show starring Scott Bakula. It's centered around a Japanese-owned American car factory. The factory was reopened as part of the Japanese company, Asan Motors, and the show saw the clash of cultures between the Japanese management and the American employees.
Sounds so boring.
I know. Sound like perfect strangers, but shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Gung Ho,
Okay.
get out of here. Oh, Concrete Cowboys.
Oh my God.
It's from 1979, but I'm giving it a mention because it starred Tom Selleck.
Oh.
Yeah. It was a made-for-TV movie that followed 2 gambling buddies who were mistaken for detectives. That sounds stupid. Rather,
Very.
You went to better things. We've spoken about this before. This is kind of like it's not like we didn't have enough fantastic shows in the 80s. A-Team, MacGyver, Knight Rider, Airwolf, Magnum, kind of ish. I love this one. Definitely had the best theme song of all of them. All those that I just said.
Yes.
The Highwayman.
Yes.
Futuristic series that has been described as a cross between Mad Max and the Knight Rider.
This was on the big truck, right?
Correct. Sam Jones.
Yes.
He was a driver of a high-tech 18-wheeler.
Why did this fail?
I don't know. Let's see where it says it. The 90-minute pilots of the show premiered in September 1987, while the remaining 9 episodes premiered in March through May 1988. I can only think that it had a shit slot. Because...
Or there was something much bigger at the same time on another channel.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Maybe they're up against Dallas.
Yeah.
You know? Because they had a truck, a helicopter came out of a truck,
Yeah.
a bike went into the truck.
Yeah.
They had Bonnie Tyler holding out for a hero as a theme song. Why?
No, that makes no sense.
I do distinctly remember Dolph Lundgren also playing the main character. Could have been a fever dream.
Definitely.
This one we've all heard about, Beyond Westworld. Yes, that Westworld.
Before they made the new Westworld.
Before they made
Yeah.
the new Westworld, only had one good season. Mm-hmm.
I
Terrible
agree.
after that.
I agree.
But of course, Westworld was it from the 70s? The original movie?
I think the original's from the 70s.
Yep.
Great
And
movie.
fantastic movie.
Yeah.
What was the guy's name, the main character?
Yul Brynner.
Yul Brenner, bald, famous bald.
There's a famous bald guy. There's a sexy bald guy.
There's a sexy bald.
Yeah.
There's a sexy bald. You'll be winning that one.
But I think he's dead now.
Yeah. Still bald. Very bald now. No, he's very bald. So the sci-fi action show Beyond Westworld was based on the film Westworld, but ignored the events of the movie.
Okay.
So what's the point? I think that's Connie Seliker. It looks like that's Connie Seliker. Yeah. Manimal, we've spoken about this.
We have. I wish I could watch Manimal. It sounds so
I
cool.
love Manimal. Guy goes, he gets a spell cast on him, he can turn into animals.
I mean, come on. That's like a dream show.
Come on, man. Only 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Manimal. Oh, I never heard of this one. The Phoenix. Very much in Manimal territory. After an archaeological expedition in Peru, a man is discovered to be alive in a casket found in ancient Inca ruins. He turns out to be Bennu, an extraterrestrial from another planet. He must learn to survive on Earth while avoiding the Peruvian government of all people who wish to worship him as a god. Worship as U.S. government's agents want to dissect him. All the while he's searching for his long lost. There's a lot going on.
There's
he's looking for a partner.
going on in
He's
this.
in a
My
cos-
God.
No wonder it got. It was.
Yeah.
It was probably too ahead of its time to be appreciated.
Yes.
Yeah. And this one is, of course, The Catfish. This is with Courtney Cox, 1985, The Misfits of Science, a comedy sci-fi show. Followed a group of misfits who formed a group because they had one thing in common. They all had superpowers.
But there's a British series called Misfits, which is exactly that storyline.
Well,
Do you think they stole it?
Let's read further. Misfits of Science featured a rock musician who was electrocuted on stage and gained the ability to charge electricity, a giant who had the ability to shrink down to small sizes. Why don't you just become a human and grow up to a giant?
Hang on, was he is he normally a giant and then he shrinks down? Or
That doesn't sound like
okay,
that
that
sounds
terrible.
convenient.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah. A man who could freeze anything he touched, named Iceman. And he was canned because he was too similar to a Marvel character. And Cox played a teenage girl who had the ability of telekinesis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not at all like Misfits. Just
No.
a weird coincidence.
It had to compete with CBS's popular show Dallas. So it
you
didn't
see?
stand a chance.
You see?
That's what happened to Highwayman. Mm-hmm. Telling you.
Yeah.
So,
So there's no mention of the man from Atlantis, although I think that's from the 70s.
yeah, that's from the 70s. I
Man,
think.
I love that show. You know, I think about that show often. I think I need to
Really?
rewatch it. It was absolutely one of my favorites when I was a kid.
Man, what was it about?
It was about literally a man who could breathe underwater.
But-
and it was played by Patrick Duffy.
But that wasn't like cancelled. Didn't it have a few seasons.
I think it probably did. I
Yeah.
just always think about it and remember it and want to watch it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think 70s.
Yeah.
I need to track it down.
Do that for Dori. If you know where to find it, let Dori know.
Well, I'm gonna, I'll use the internet.
Use the
I'll try
internet.
because I'm remembering it with my childhood brain.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not the same. Maybe I would be ruining it by trying to watch it again now.
Could
But
be.
when I think about it, I get this warm feeling of I love that. It's the same feeling I get when I think of The Littlest Hobo.
Oh.
Oh wow, that was so close.
Almost there. Almost got
I
it.
can't whistle at all. That's really impressive.
Almost got it. This has been That 80 Show. Everything we spoke about on the show can be found. That 80 Show essay on Facebook. Great movies this week, Dori. Rick Astley just being lovely. Misheard lyrics. Only Rick Astley could do a song with the wrong lyrics and make it better.
I can't wait to hear it.
Thanks for joining me in studio, Dori.
Yes.
Yes.
So fun.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I gave you some chocolates.